Oh, now you can do
Welcome,
your.
everybody. I got Coach Romero of our Heroes team. He's also a Santa Clara coach, Santa Clara Bruins. And we got Coach Andrew, the future head coach of a team somewhere.
We'll see. We'll see. Maybe.
We'll see. Breaking news. Oh, look, there's a couple of All-Stars behind me.
Uh-oh.
Got the All-Star flyer. Maybe we should talk a little bit about the All-Stars.
Looking good.
Just start with.
Yeah. Go ahead. Kick it off.
The GSF Senior All-Star Game is going to happen at Oak Grove High School on December 30th. That's the location. So this flyer is going to be updated soon. A lot of the practices are going to be at Oak Grove. We're going to try to get at a Santa Clara, Coach. Maybe we could do like a couple there.
Okay.
Make that happen. It looks like we have a lot of South Bay guys. We're starting to confirm players. The one major challenge that everybody's running into is the grade point average. GPA got to be 3.0. It's okay. We will find the right ones. We already took out 28 guys, unfortunately. They're on standby. But this is the first time we're doing this, so there's going to be a lot of things that are going to come up that we just need to adjust. But all in all, I think the organizational part of the event is going pretty good. The jerseys are ordered, the venues are reserved, all that stuff. The players, they're going to come. There's like a gazillion amount of players in the Bay Area, so not too worried about that. But one thing that's going to be cool is the format of the practices. We're not going to do a lot of contact. This is going to be more of a camp, like a combine camp type thing where the kids are going to be challenged individually and they get to work with each other. So the teams are not going to be announced probably until the week of the All-Star game, the 26th. That's a Monday. So we're going to make sure the kids get to know each other, work together, do a lot of one-on-ones, 7s, 5-on-5s, things like that. They'll go through some instructional stuff and they'll learn stuff. I'll have a few people that are going to come by practice to talk to the kids as well. We will reveal the organizations that they're going to be playing for. Probably next month. There's a handful of them and I got to narrow it down. But other than that, everything is going pretty good. You guys are starting to see the players. We got Jacob and Andrew back here right behind me. They're confirmed. Talk to their parents and everything. So there are going to be multiple players from teams, which is fine. But we're trying to post one from a team for now. I don't want to post like 5 Wilcox guys or 5 Christopher guys right away. Not that we have 5 from those teams, but yeah, that's what I have so far. Update. November 27th is an important day because that's the first time we're all going to meet each other either in person or Zoom. But that's after CCS. So we'll see who survives. We have players all the way from Monterey. We have players all the way from Richmond. But if it's not necessary to have players coming that far, we're going to make it so that it's all South Bay guys. So, yeah. Any questions?
Looking forward to it.
So
we're looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. So there's still football. And then usually like around this time, this is the first round of playoffs. So a lot of the coaching staff and players are still playing, basically. But, and it's not really highly publicized for a reason because, we want to be selective for this first one.
Yeah.
But yeah, speaking of selective, we selected 2, 4, 6 games to talk about. Coach Andrew, you want to kick it off? You want to pick one?
Sure. Let's You know what? The one that I really like, I want to talk about is this Salinas Sacred Heart prep game.
Oh,
If you guys saw the rankings, Sacred Heart Prep comes in at a low seed versus Salinas. So they're going down to Salinas to go play this game. So Salinas is interesting. They're traditionally very physical, big kid team. They have really good playmakers. Yet I don't think they're going to be able to match up with this Sacred Heart Prep team, especially now that I feel Sacred Heart Prep's probably going to be super disrespected, being dropped to that 5 seed or that lower seed. When they wanted that higher seed, Sacred Heart Prep's going to pretty much like try to just prove CCS wrong that they should not have been ranked that low. So I see Sacred Heart Prep winning this game. They're too far ahead. They're clicking really well, and like what Alf says, lightning strikes not 1 but 2 but 3 times, and it just hurts.
yeah. Coach Romero, you got your guy at Salinas, man. You got your all-star over there.
Yeah, Zion Hunter. I think he's a game changer, difference maker. I got Salinas winning this one, tight one, 28-27.
Ooh, that's a nice score.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be close. It's tough to play over there, the pit.
Yeah. So
for a lot of those Sacred Heart Prep guys, this might be like a whoa, where are we? We're in the country.
tough place to play.
Yeah, but you know what though? What I said about the Lightning, I'm serious about that. Because look, when they played Menlo, before you know it, it was like 28-0. And did you guys hear about the interception by Andrew Latu, number 8 for Sacred Heart? So this was the 3rd touchdown, I believe. It was a pick 6, and he just stuck his hand out and one hand grab, started running down. And when he got to about the 10, he started slowing down, and then he flipped the ball to his lineman.
Wow.
And then the lineman, he got the pick 6.
That's awesome.
On paper. So it was really cool. So that one was R.J. Stevens. And I actually just talked to him. And
that's cool.
I got to know him, and you guys will see that segment with the Sacred Heart Prep Menlo highlights from last week. Really interesting kid. The background is pretty cool. His dad was in the WWE, and he's not just a football player. He is a model actor. Very talented dude, and only played. This is his 2nd year of football, and he's a 3-star or 2-star recruit.
Who's his dad?
With a lot of Ivy League schools interested in him. So his dad is huge. So I asked him, I was like, hey, because it was senior night. I asked him, I was like, hey, your dad looks like he played ball back in the days. And then that's when he told me, he's like, yeah, he's a bodybuilder. He was in WWE. I was like, wait, what? So, and dumbass me, I forgot to ask, what's your dad's name? I think it's RJ Stevens, like senior.
Okay.
We'll look him up.
We're gonna have to leave that one out.
But it was a cool moment. So it was like, Latu picked the ball up. Latu's had a great year so far. He's like the MVP of that team.
Yeah.
Put the ball at his lineman. So it was a really good moment there. But that's the kind of like, they'll just strike, man. Carter Shaw got a pick, and it was like, they make it look so easy. John Chung, he got like a big hit right up the middle. The quarterback, I know we're going to do the awards, and I got to rank him top 3. Mitchell Taylor, quarterback for Sacred Heart Prep. Yeah, he hasn't missed a game. He's been on like every single week, every single Friday. So I'll pick Sacred Heart Prep. Score wise, man, if Salinas can keep up, I think it'll be close, but I don't think Prep is gonna leave that place and go home, period, so I got Prep on that one.
Ooh, 2-1, Coach Sal.
All right, let's go to Sacred Heart, the other Sacred Heart Cathedral and St. Francis. Coach Romero, you get to do this one first.
I think we talked earlier about this before we went live, but I think that's a hard one. I think it can go either way. I'm gonna roll with Sacred Heart on this one. I think they feed Jerry Mixon the ball a little more on offense because I think they seems like on paper he's like the number 2 back, but feed your best player, man. It's either sell out or go home, and if you feed that guy, I like that. I like them winning that game.
Close game, not so close game.
No, very close game. Very close game. I'm giving
it was close last time. The first time
it was off by a touchdown. I would say 24-21, Sacred Heart.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where I'm going with it. I don't know about you guys.
I like that. No, I like it. It makes total sense.
Yeah.
You want to go, Coach Andrew? Should I?
No, I got it. So honestly, like after that showing with St. Francis versus Mitty, honestly, like St. Francis looks like things are starting to click, and Mitty handled Sacred Heart, and then St. Francis handled Mitty. So I think with that kind of like momentum with St. Francis, like I don't see them like letting this team into the game. Like they look poised to do what they just did to their last 2 opponents, to Sacred Heart, with the momentum that they have rolling right now. So I actually think this is they're going to be a lot further out than most people would want it to be. So I have actually St. Francis winning this by at least three touchdowns.
3 touchdowns?
Yeah.
Gotcha. If Sacred Heart Prep. Oh, go ahead.
What's the quarterback situation at St. Francis?
That's a good question, because at this point,
doesn't matter.
It matters.
Okay.
Yeah. But I'm
both
pretty
good.
sure. So I'm pretty sure Matthew Doherty is going to come back. I think he was fine last weekend, but it was good that they let Aaron not play.
Yeah.
And he did well. He had 3 touchdown passes.
No, he looked good.
Yeah. And so, and that's it. And then the sophomore, Aina Kingston, he scored
beast.
I think he scored twice, but he had some runs that are like, whoa, like where did this kid come from? And he was injured after the De La Salle game, so he's been kind of on and off. But the last 2 games, he's performed really well.
Yeah, they fed him the ball last week. It looked like.
Yeah. So with Sacred Heart, though, if they can eliminate some of the mistakes, they can take this beyond, beyond their limits. I think they can pull off an upset, but St. Francis is St. Francis. They're at home. They need to. I think the only thing that St. Francis needs to do is they need to get up ahead.
Yeah.
Then they're gonna manage that game, and it's gonna be over. The D line, the defense, and the offensive line, they need to get in control. Because when I look back to the Serra Sacred Heart Cathedral game, that's what Serra did. They dominated the line, and their line is very young. Their offensive line. Yeah. So when you once they get behind and they're frustrated, like that's when things started to fall apart for Sacred Heart Cathedral. So I think St. Francis, this could be like a running clock, to be honest. So it would be nice to see Miller and Mixon in a state game or a NorCal game again, but Yeah, I don't think it's gonna happen.
It's a whole different division. This is a whole
Yeah.
different division.
With the way St. Francis is playing right now, I think this is gonna be a running clock third quarter in the 40s.
Ooh.
I'm sorry. You're still one of the best linebacker. You're the best linebacker / running back. I don't know why he didn't run the ball much, but and R.L. Miller, still one of the best athletes out there for this class. But yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
All right.
Okay. All right, you get to pick the next one, Alf.
Serra and Palma. Serra.
Does it even hesitate on that one?
No, yeah. Well, Palma, I don't know much about Palma, but all I know is like they have Logan Saldate, and that's all I know. They're very good. They're hard hitters, like you said. I mean, you said they play strong.
They play very strong.
Yeah, Sarah's got the players of the year, the MVPs of the year on their squad, and they're gonna go to the championship. Yeah, it doesn't matter who they play in the next 2 weekends. So, running clock, third quarter. Who's got a puppy?
I do.
Oh, okay. You guys are not even going to comment on the Serra Palma game?
No, I was going to. I got Serra as well. Yeah, I got him 35-0. Serra's got just too much on both sides of the ball, man. It's gonna be a blowout.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we already know what this the Serra team down to their reserves. The reserves can beat a lot of teams. So this team is built and ready to well, actually not even built and ready to go. They're still getting better. Serra's team is getting better. I think for Palma,
their backups are getting better.
I know, that's what's scary. So it's next man up mentality over there at Serra, and Coach Walsh has put a really good program together. I think for Palma, this is a good game for them to just play. A lot of their players are going to be back next year.
Yeah,
especially so Logan will be back next year. This is a good, get the experience from playing against a team like this. But yeah, it's going to be a blowout. I think once they get to 35, we're going to start seeing the roster, Serra go through the roster like what they did last few games. They've done that.
Yeah. Menlo Atherton, Bellarmine College Prep. What was that?
This is hard. This one actually, I would say this is the most I don't want to use the word confusing, but this one's hard to swing one which way. I think right now, if you were to take the state of both teams right now, they're pretty even. Right now, I would call it like that. They're pretty even. Bellarmine comes off with a win that they needed, and I hope that woke them up, because this is a good rematch. They lost this at the beginning of the season. So, if someone's playing this weekend, that can make a big change in the game. But even without him, they still won. MA was still winning games without Jurion. We already know that. So they are capable. But if Bellarmine can play the way they did against Valley, then they can kind of even the score between what they did at the beginning of the season versus MA. But I think this is going to be really close. It's just going to come down to who honestly just wants it more. So I don't know. I can't even. I'm swinging slightly towards MA on this one, but I think it's going to be close.
Okay.
I'm with Andrew on that. It's going to come down who wants it more. Who's going to want to fight most of the games at the end. Who's going to want it more? I think it comes down. I like both teams' running backs in this game. I know Ben. I liked him. I was really high on him last year. I think we picked him for GSF All Stars. I think he has. It's kind of a slower year this year, right? But I mean, it's playoff time. It's time to go. and I like MA's running back too, Sherrod Smith. So if either one of those guys can go off, it's either team's game. I actually have Bellarmine winning this game. So let's see how it goes.
Bellarmine.
Yeah.
Bellarmine.
I think
It's time to move on, Bellarmine, and forget the past and look forward to the future. I'm losing my voice.
yeah.
You guys got to pull this. You guys got to pull together and just win this game. And end it right. One game at a time. Get to the championship. So I don't even know who's playing at Bellarmine, really, like, as far as, like, all I know is Parker's playing, and that's our guy, you know.
Yeah.
Hopefully Colin Lakoraju is back because he's a speedster. But when I ran into the Bells at In-N-Out this past weekend after they beat Valley Christian, I saw their hunger. They were hungry. They were hungry for more.
Not just In-N-Out.
So I think this is their opportunity to turn things around.
Mm-hmm.
Just end it right. So I don't want the Bells to lose this one. I don't want the MA Bears to lose this one. But
Somebody's got to win.
Match, I think
Bellarmine
will be more prepared.
Yeah, I think so too.
More prepared. They've seen them before. They'll adjust. You know, they have their coaching staff. You know, I mean, I'm not really sure what's going on with the other games that they lost, but I think this second chance right here for them, I think they're going to pull it together. So expect the defense to really put clamp down on MA, and that's what I'm expecting. So we're not going to be at the game, but you know, we'll follow it on Twitter or whatnot. But I see Bellarmine winning this one, a close one. I don't think it's going to go in the 20s. I think it's going to be like below that. So maybe like a 17-14.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Game-winning field goal, something like that. Might even go to overtime. So, but if Jurion Dickey is playing, then Houston, we have a problem.
Yeah.
I don't think he's playing. I don't think he's playing.
Yeah. So I'm making my pick based on the fact that Jurion is not playing. That's, you know, or maybe we'll find out tomorrow. I wonder if he's going to sign tomorrow. Tomorrow's signing day, right?
We don't know.
I don't know.
Signing day. So anyways, so that's that. Wilcox, Lincoln tomorrow night. Wait, Thursday night. The only Thursday night game. We will be there.
Nice.
You guys want to join me on the sideline? You're welcome to do so. See our guys, our heroes, and Jalen, our GSF 5-star. Oh,
I still like Wilcox for this one. I got to watch Lincoln play against Christopher. They have very, very young, talented team. They have one very huge playmaker in Tayden. Tayden's playing this week, right? He should be playing this week.
He had 3 touchdowns last week.
Yeah, so I mean, with Tayden, like, you know, if you can contain him, you know, that's, and if you can't, then it's a problem. But Wilcox has been strong all year. You know, that's, you know, they're pretty balanced. I know Coach Sal, you can probably speak more on that, but I'd say like they are pretty balanced on both sides. They play hard. They all hawk to the ball, and then when they run the ball, those running backs run hard and they will run at you fast. So, you know, I like Wilcox in this one. It's a tough matchup for Lincoln, just on paper, but Wilcox, I think they're gonna give it to them. So I'm going with Wilcox on this one, probably 35-7. Sorry, Lincoln. Sorry, Manala.
It's not soccer. It's okay.
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, shout out to Kennedy, the kicker, Kennedy Shanauer, the kicker for Lincoln. because last week she went 4 for 4 on PATs. So in a way, like she was a big part of that win against Leland. It's like 28-27, right? So so I invited her to be in the All-Star game because she's a senior, but I know she's got soccer and she's going to Utah, and we'll see what happens. But
That's pretty cool.
I just think they're outnumbered. Like, I think the game plan for Wilcox is going to be the same. They're going to tire out the opponent and they're just going to run away with it. We got several GSF All-Stars on the Wilcox team. We got Frankie, we got Palacios. Hopefully we have Armand, and then there's a couple of D-line too. So I think this is their opportunity to kind of show off on camera and give me some footage to work with here, Wilcox. I got confused in the beginning. I thought Wilcox was playing Los Gatos. That's why I mentioned Jalen. But that's the next game. So I'm going to pick Wilcox. I think it's going to be this is going to end Lincoln's season, unfortunately.
Happens.
Happens.
I got Wilcox as well. I just got done seeing them this last Friday, so they're big, they're fast. Juan's playing great. Jeremiah on the defensive side is leading that defense. He's playing great. The running backs are super fast. Elijah Walker and Andrew Palacios, man. And then Johnson's throwing to number 26, Malidi Saleh.
Mm-hmm.
He is fast.
Yeah.
So he's a playmaker, man. I like. Yeah, they're just too much right now. Lincoln. I mean, they got Sal on that side. So I expect him to put up a little fight, but he's one of our GSF guys. So, but yeah, I got Wilcox 42-20.
Ooh. What's the halftime score?
35-14.
35-14. Yeah,
no, 35-7.
Honestly, I could see Wilcox scoring on their first 3 possessions on Lincoln.
Yeah,
because they're gonna just like eat up the clock. They're just gonna go boom, 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 and score. So, but you never know. I mean, Taden Phillips, he's a magician. He can work his magic. So
yeah, I like him too. I like Taden a lot.
Yeah,
he's a great player. He has a little brother on the team that's a freshman.
He does, yeah.
The receiver.
He's
a baller. He's a baller.
He's a bigger built kid too.
Yeah, freshman wide receiver on varsity. That's cool.
They have 2 starting freshmen on varsity. 2 of them. Yeah, one of their safeties is also a freshman.
Freshman, yeah.
That's awesome.
Well, if they can play, I always say, bring them up.
Yeah.
Last but not least, Danny Sullivan and his Mitty Monarchs are going to go down to I-17 to visit his former school.
I was about to say.
The Los Gatos Wildcats. This is teacher versus student kind of a thing.
I know. I think Danny was really looking forward to this game. So Coach Sullivan, this is a great matchup for him. This is a great matchup for Mitty. I think Mitty has a good chance to do something in this game and play and make an upset on it. I mean, you just got to contain those playmakers. They have the players to do it, to contain them on Los Gatos. They have the players, and you just got to let Wills get going. Get the ball out quick. Put it in Scudero and Ben Kim's hands. Let them go do their thing that they've been doing all year. But you got to strike fast, and you got to hit them back hard. That's kind of the key to winning this game. And just make sure you keep an eye on Thomas. He's ridiculous. He's a ridiculously good player. But I'm gonna, I've picked Mitty every week, whether they win or lose. So I'm gonna pick Mitty again, just because I'm a Mitty guy. But I really do want them to win this game. I really want Mitty to and I want Coach Danny to, put it to his alma mater. So I think they'll win it close, very close though. Very, very close. Maybe by 3 points and maybe just barely over the 20s. So 24-21. There you go. That close. Mitty.
All right. I got Los Gatos. 2020. I just like
public. He's going public.
I just like I like the team. I've seen him a couple times in person, and I saw him play Liberty, saw him play Wilcox, and they just play like real together as a team. There's not just one guy on the team. If they spread it to everybody. Everybody contributes. Everybody plays hard. Yeah, I think Gaddis is just too, just there'd be a little too much for Mitty. Mitty's playing great though too. So, but I got him 28-20, Gaddis.
Dang. Yeah. I'm worried about the Mitty Monarchs because they don't have Justice.
Yeah,
they don't have Justice.
Oh no,
big huge hole.
That's huge.
Yeah. But knowing Mitty, they're gonna be prepared for Thomas. But I advise you guys not to over prepare because Emiliano Mejia, the running back, capable of taking over this game and scoring 3-4 touchdowns. And I could see him doing that because line-wise, yeah. I don't think Jake Boyd needs to do much as far as like passing, but Mitty, you guys got to prepare for that. Prepare for the running back. He's a load. He runs hard, and this could be his best game of the season. So I'm looking forward to that one. We got Theo going to that game. Jalen Thomas is going to do his thing, and if they can stop Jalen Thomas to do his thing, then Mitty can pull this one off. I'm going to go with Mitty. I'll go with Mitty.
Oh, yeah.
Finally, fix him.
I'm going to go with Mitty, and this is going to make headline news like everywhere. Yeah, I'm going to go with Mitty.
Okay.
Going to be they need to do a lot of trick plays though. So yeah. Wills, this is your game, man. Take over. This is your team. You guys have worked so hard. Remember, you were 1-9 last year. This year you did way better, but don't let this be the last game. I think you guys can pull it off.
Yeah.
Let's
go.
All
over the place. Between us three, we're all over the place on these picks.
I know. It's like we make it sound like we're picking the team, and then boom, we just hit them with the lefty.
No, but I mean, we picked some good games to to talk about this time around. Like I mean, the Open. I mean, you guys probably all saw it. Like the Open is stacked. The Open division is stacked this year. I don't think I've D1. Seen it this.
There's no Open. It's just D1
or D1 or whatever it's called. But I've never seen it this stacked in a while. It's been a while since we've seen it this stacked before. Like you have two. It's all private schools.
Yeah. They look well, except for Los Gatos
and Salinas.
Yeah.
So
since we have a coach here, you're a coach too, but since we have Coach Romero here, I kind of want to bring this up. So this is now the next segment within the segment. Players of the year versus MVP of the league. Because I think, if you ask me, there's a huge difference between the two. So when the all leagues come out and they come out with this like most valuable quarterback, most valuable back, most valuable receiver, most valuable, and then they have player of the year, running back, player of the year. How would you define the difference?
I don't know.
I think there's a difference.
I've been to these meetings where they give out these awards and they have so many of them. They just want to recognize more kids as possible. But MVPs, like, you're like the MVP. And so you're the MVP of the league. So that's a big deal. But are you saying like between Player of the Year and MVP?
Yeah, I think. Well, okay. If you ask me, I would say the Player of the Year should
As
be,
in all the CCS, or are you talking about just the league?
or
League.
anything,
Okay.
even like a team. Player of the Year. Okay, well, okay. Let's just narrow it down to like section or league.
Okay.
Player of the Year. I think Player of the Year should be stat based. MVP should be more of like a little bit more than stat. It could be like it's like what kind of impact does this one player have?
Yeah.
League and the team, you know?
Well, MVP would be like, say, like the league champs of a certain league, and you'd probably most likely have the MVP player as well. So, how important was that player to that team to get to that, league championship?
Yeah.
That's what I would say. That's how I would define that one. It doesn't have to necessarily be stats either. Could be like leading, just having a presence on the team, something like that. Yeah.
I feel like it should also be like, like even if they are like putting up the stats, it's like you can't just have like, they start off the beginning of the season, they're like putting up all these like big numbers, and then like 3 games like in the middle of the season they kind of like drop. Like because I've seen people still win awards and then they have like kind of like a down slump in the middle of the season, and then they'll still get that huge. Like I feel like it has to be like consistent through the whole year. Like
Yeah.
I feel like that's just more, in a sense, like I feel like that's just more fair. Like because that means like what you guys said, like that impact, like that player's making an impact through the whole season. It's not just like people figured him out. Like he's, regardless of who he's playing, like he's still making like that same impact every game. It's consistent. So I mean that I feel like is like a true, like that's a true MVP.
Yeah. Well, MVP,
like when
most
you
valuable player. So I think they're all different. I think both. I mean, it's like totally different categories. If it's me, I would say like Player of the Year would be like totally. It should mostly be like stat based. Like who threw the most touchdowns, who got the most yards, most touchdowns, who caught the most touchdowns, most yards, made the most tackles. And then MVP is like, all right, who's that player that if you take them out, like it changes everything.
Yeah.
So, like for example, Amos, is he a Player of the Year or is he an MVP?
He's an MVP of the team.
An MVP, yeah. Because if you take Amos, like, yeah, he's still like he's super valuable.
Yeah.
So for WCAL, since we covered a lot of WCAL, who would be the MVP? And who would be the Player of the Year? We've seen enough, right? We've seen enough. And I think for an athlete to be considered, the measurement is based on how they performed against the best competition. So we saw a lot of Serra, we saw a lot of St. Francis. Mixon is a great player, but he couldn't do anything against Serra. Right?
Yeah, that consistency. See?
RL Miller is by far probably the best athlete we saw all year, but our heroes guy, Junior Jaden Green, stuck with him the entire time. Made him look average, really. I mean, I hate to say it, but Jaden did. Jaden should be getting a scholarship for that game because he freaking just balled. I didn't even know he almost had like 2 interceptions against him, just guarding him. So, yeah. So the Player of the Year versus the MVP of the league. I think those are two way different category.
Yeah, that like the way you guys talked about it, like that just completely changes it.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So Who is the player of the year for the WCAL and who is the MVP?
Man, that's hard.
And then you can break it down to positions, like who is the most valuable whatever, right?
Yeah.
And then you can break it down that way, or who's the most valuable bat or most valuable whatever. So I think that's why, like, there's so many awards. I don't know if the goal is to hand out as many awards as you can possible, or to actually recognize the guys who just deserve it.
Yeah.
So one example is, does it, like, any of the Valley Christian guys, I mean, they're in the last place. Do they deserve any of the categories, any recognition? They'll have all league guys, yes.
Yeah.
But as far as, like, where's EK compared to
Yeah, I was about to say EK.
compared to Justice, compared to Path, compared to all the other backs, right? So I just don't know how they really do that stuff. I've seen stuff on Twitter with the other leagues, with coaches like complaining, like, we don't like how they do this awards thing. But I'm just curious, because every year there's always like, what?
Well, it comes down to the coaches. So usually the coaches meet. Usually have each league has a league meeting, and the coaches meet, and they all vote. They all nominate their players, and each team will nominate them. And it can be political at times too, right? Like
Do you nominate your own player, or do you not, like?
No, you nominate your own player.
You nominate your own player, and then you guys
coach,
vote?
Yeah. Coach will put up the player, and then all the coaches will vote on certain players.
So that's how it's done. I get it.
Yeah.
And I've seen where it gets political or it gets petty and stuff, where a coach won't vote for a certain player or something like that. But
yeah.
But usually, most of the time, people are good about it. It usually gets done right. So
I see.
Yeah.
Cool.
Cool.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, I feel like even if we tried to like pick, we'd probably get them all, like, we'd be off. Because now knowing that it's like, this is voted on by the coaches, we're gonna be like, well, all right.
Yeah. I'm just interested to see who will get that award, because
it's kind of hard though. Like, I don't know. Like, it's like on Serra's team, everyone's like contributing. Like, I was looking at the stats for the running backs, and I mean, you got three guys that are all contributing. You got Danny, Jaden, and Jabari, and all their stats are pretty equal. Who's the leader of the defense? Is it Danny?
depends on how you define the defense. Because what I've seen is, like, Jabari would blast out three guys, allowing Danny to get a sack or a tackle.
Yeah.
Versa. So it's like, I think those two guys are the player of the years.
Okay.
Or MVPs.
So you give one player of the year and one MVP?
No, I think Danny, Niu, and Jabari Man are the MVPs.
Okay.
Of the league, just period. Co-MVPs. And if there is a player of the year, it's their quarterback.
Yeah, so I was thinking the same thing. It's got to be the QB.
It's a QB, because they got like 26 touchdowns.
Yeah, something like that.
Way ahead of Wills, way ahead of Matthew. Matthew Doherty, I mean, he would have been considered, but he missed a couple of games. So,
And you're undefeated.
And they're undefeated. Yeah. And then if you go down the defense, there's Sam Goligoski. I mean, there's so many people. There's so many players on that team that could clean up the awards. It's pretty crazy. So,
does your league have because I know WCAL does it. They have like a utility player of the year. Do you guys have that one too, Coach Sal?
Oh yeah. They got everything. They got sophomore of the year, senior year, utility. They got a bunch of stuff like that. But I don't know. It's gonna be different this year because they joined the PAL League. We joined the PAL League, so we're adopting the PAL League's end of the year stuff. So it's not SCBA stuff anymore. So it's whatever the PAL does. So I'm interested in how it's going to work out.
Chase Cahoon for Player of the Year for freshman. That's all I gotta say. Oh man. Anyways, I think we're good.